went to bed, and before dawn the next morning there was pounding on the door, bang, 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 and even before Martin got to the door, these 3 guys with M16s broke the door down. One of them took Martin right out. One of them came over to the bed, lowered his weapon, and yelled, "Go, go, go." So I grabbed clothes and just fled with everybody else to a waiting speedboat down at the dock. And as we pulled away from the dock, they yelled, "Allah Akbar, Allah Akbar." And that's when we knew who had us. Everybody in the Philippines knows who the Abu Sayyaf are, militant Muslims, and they've declared jihad down there, and we knew we were in big trouble.
How are you spiritually processing all
Yeah,
this?
that first day on the speedboat, I said to Martin, "How long do you think this will last?" He said, "You know those European hostages, didn't that take about 6 weeks?" So I gave God 6 weeks to figure this out and get us out of there. And week 10, I just had this crisis of faith. If God loved me, I wouldn't be where I was. He wasn't hearing my prayer. He wasn't answering. And it led to depression, crying all the time, not like I was strong all the other times, but just being depressed and hard to get along with. And Martin very gently said to me one day, "It's very sad to see you giving up your faith." And I said, "I'm not giving up my faith. I believe God made me and Jesus died for me. I just don't think God loves me because here I am in this fix." And Martin said, "Oh, seems to me either you believe it all or you don't believe it at all. You need to decide what you believe." And we started to go through the scriptures. I have loved you with an everlasting love. When you go through the fire, I'll be with you. The promises of God, we just started hanging on to those, and it changed my heart. And as I made some decisions about who God was in my life, my heart started to change. Right there in the jungle, the trial didn't go away, but my heart changed.
And you hear that so much, that God doesn't always take away the circumstances that are testing us, but sometimes He changes us in the midst of it all. Probably not what you were hoping for, though.
No. No. People say, well, if you know now, if you knew then what you know now, would you say, God, I learned so much. Yeah, I'm happy I went through that. And I say, no way. I want to grow old with my husband. I didn't want to go through that horrible time. I'm glad we don't have to choose, because I don't think we would choose well.
I agree.
God does special things when we're at our lowest, because suddenly we can't handle that problem anymore, right?
Yeah.
It's too big a problem, and we look up and we seek Him and come to know Him in a whole new way, and that's a good thing.
Yeah, it takes away that illusion of control that we have about our lives.
Yeah.
You know, you describe so well in your book, In the Presence of My Enemies, what it's like to live in the jungle, what it's like to be on the run. Just tell me what your days were like.
Well, kind of depended on whether we had food or not. The guys would get up and pray early as dawn was breaking. Then if there was food, we would eat something they would cook. And then if we were in a safe place, we would hide out, we would lay low, totally bored. Or if we thought the military was around, trying to rescue us, we would mobile, we would hike up and down mountains, through rivers, just hike for days and nights on end, weeks, just totally exhausted. So you didn't know if you were going to be totally bored or totally exhausted. And at night, I would just pray for dawn, because the sounds and the creepiness of the jungle at night. And then during the day, it was hot and there were mosquitoes, and you would pray for night. And I thought, I'm just wishing my life away. Just hoping to make it through one more day.
And then you have the fear, one of the hostages with you was beheaded. That was obviously always an option, that you guys could be killed through this. So how did you deal with that fear, like knowing that you could go any day, that either of you could die any day?
at one point they were shooting artillery at us from like 10 miles away. You know, how can an artillery shell kill a bad guy and not kill us? Yeah. And we were just so traumatized by that, and it had been happening for weeks. And one day I just officially told Martin goodbye. You know, I'm glad we had a good marriage. I wouldn't change. I would still come to the Philippines again. I love Filipinos. I've loved our life together. We've got great kids. I just said everything I wanted to say if he died in the next few minutes. And of course, Martin said, you know, this is not healthy. You shouldn't be talking like this. But then when he died on the hillside that day, I'd said it. I didn't have to, oh, there's one more thing I want to say. It had been said, and that helped me.
I bet that gave you a lot of peace. Tell me about that day, the 17th attack by the Filipino military on your position. What happened?
We didn't know that a backpack that had been sent into Sabaya, one of the leaders of our group, had a homing device sewn in it. The CIA had sewn a homing device in. So the military was moving in on us, and we didn't know that. We kind of realized they were following us about noonish maybe, and we'd been starving, nothing to eat for days, like 9 days before that. We were on our 10th day of just starving, and realized the military was behind us. But it started to rain, and always before, they never fought in the rain. It's like there was a reprieve if it was raining. So we stopped to wait out the rain, and the military that day, much to their credit, they didn't stop. They came over the hill, and there was this gun battle, just, you know, no selective gunfire, I'm sorry to say. There never was. And I was immediately shot in the leg, and Martin just was shot as well, and just lay there. And, you know, I could tell that gunshot wounds to the chest don't heal. And he was just kind of snoring, breathing loudly. And then he just got very still. The weight of death. Have you heard that saying?
Yeah.
I felt it. He just got heavy. And I wasn't even sure what that meant. But looking back on it, that's when he died. And I was trying to do what he'd always taught me to do, lay flat on the ground in a gun battle. Wait for somebody to tell you what to do. Make the smallest target you can. So I was just trying to keep my head. And the Abu Sayyaf retreated down the river, and the military came over the hill and dragged me to the top of the hill. And I looked back at Martin, and he was white, and that's when I knew he was dead. And they called a helicopter, and it lifted me out of there, and the same God that kept me going for a year, I just knew. I knew he was going to keep me going through life, and he has. He's faithful. God's faithful. We've all heard it. I've just seen it in a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14 years now, you've moved ahead without Martin. Hard years, raised your kids.
Yeah.
They're serving God now in many different ways.
They are. Good kids.
Yeah, tell me about that faithfulness of God. You know, I know there's a lot of people watching who are widows who've lost their loved one. They're raising kids alone, or they're living life alone.
Yeah.
God has a heart for widows. A special
He does. He does special things for us. And I think if you're a widow today and you're wondering what to do today, and the thing about being alone is you just kind of feel stupid because you don't know what to do, and there's not a sounding board. I would tell them, first of all, you're doing better than you think you are. You see the mess and you see the dysfunction, but you're doing good. And God is special to you right now. And I would say, get people praying for you. You need people holding you up before the Lord. So get those people. Don't be the strong one. And when people say, is everything okay? Yeah, we're good. No, tell them how they can pray for you. I never get tired of hearing people say, we prayed for you. And thank you to your listeners and the people watching who prayed for us. We needed it. What would we have done without your prayers?